All right, on this segment, I'm going to begin with thermal stratification. It is a barrier formed in ocean water from various properties such as salinity and density that prevent waters from mixing properly. So, what's the culprit of thermal stratification? It is increased thermal stratification of the ocean waters is causally related to increased sea surface temperatures. The heightening of the sea surface temperatures is caused by higher CO2 content in the atmosphere, from which 93% has been absorbed by the ocean since the 1970s. The primary emitters of this carbon dioxide that is being taken in by the ocean are humans, primarily due to fossil fuels and mass commercial agricultural practices via population increase and higher demand for such resources. The heightened ocean heat content is particularly evident in the coastal areas of the Indian Ocean and the South Pacific, notably one of the islands of Indonesia. My specific focus will be the Jakarta Bay in Indonesia. Increased sea surface temperature leads to greater thermal stratification. This stratification affects the process of upwelling and downwelling in subtropical coastal areas such as Jakarta Bay. Upwelling allows for nutrients to move from the deep water to the surface water, and downwelling allows for oxygen to be transported from the surface water down to deeper waters. The increased ocean temperatures are creating an even greater imbalance in this mixing of waters, significantly halting this process in the tropical and subtropical areas. This leads to hypoxia of the coastal ocean waters. This is also called deoxygenation. Essentially, the increased warming to increase stratification to reduce mixing creates reduction in ocean ventilation, resulting in massive ocean oxygen loss. It is therefore no surprise that the region with one of the world's highest CO2 emissions, Jakarta, would experience increased and prolonged hypoxia episodes in its bay. However, increased ocean temperature is not the only cause of hypoxia in the Jakarta Bay. Between 2001 and 2015, Jakarta Bay has undergone multiple similar trends that we are so familiar with in the Gulf of Mexico here in the US. That is, the overabundance of nutrients and chemicals running off from human farms and industrial sectors into the water. The massive growth of the human population in Jakarta and the surrounding areas, and the subsequent increase in the industrial and agricultural environments has allowed for greater amounts of pollutants to flow into the bay, essentially causing an algae bloom. These algae choke the water of oxygen, eventually leading to the degradation of the biomass in the Jakarta Bay. It is important to note here that excessive algae growth is itself a significant cause of thermal stratification mentioned above. A major component of the biomass in the Jakarta Bay impact by the Southeast Asian Dead Zone event are fish and mussels. There has been an increase in the mass deaths of fish and mussels, which are two resources vital to the livelihoods of many of the residents around the Jakarta Bay. Particularly local farmers and mussel farmers. The hypoxia problem has caused significant financial burden for these communities and also led to increased physical risks taken in order to acquire the resources they need to be sustained. Work is being done to fix this problem. Much of it is focused on trying to understand the source of the problems and direct interaction with local communities to get a more holistic understanding of how they are affected.